I'm vengeance.
What is up, film geeks? My name is Trevor and welcome to my channel. The Batman is finally here, and safe to say I loved the movie, and with it coming out and living up to all my monumental expectations, I thought it was only right to do a top 10 DC movie ranking, and we're going to see where the Batman falls on this list, because yes, it is in my top 10. Let me know your top 10 favorite DC movies down below in the comment section. Hit that thumbs up button for me, hit subscribe button for me. Lots more Batman content coming this week. I cannot wait for it. But right now, we're ranking the top 10 DC movies. Let's do this. And at number 10 is Shazam! Shazam is such a different type of tone and vibe for the DC. DC is more darker, more mature, and Shazam is one of the funnest, most lighthearted movies inside the entire DC universe. Zachary Levi was born to play Shazam, and I love how it goes back and forth from Billy being a young kid to being a superhero, and as he's a superhero, he's making those young kid decisions because at heart, he is still a young kid, just in an adult's body. Shazam is fun, it's different, and it really just kind of sets up the future of DC to be dark and also a little bit fun, and I'm really excited about that. At number 9, my personal favorite Superman movie of all time, Man of Steel. Zack Snyder crafted something so beautiful and epic with a brilliant score, but Henry Cavill is not just only a great Superman, he is the Superman, and it's kind of a shame we're not going to see him in any other DC projects, and I really wish we got a Man of Steel 2, because this movie is riveting. You have a fantastic villain, and it's an origin story without being a full origin story. You get his past, because his father comes back from the past, and then you also get like his father who raised him. You have fantastic performances, fantastic actors, a lot of epic action with one of the best scores of all time. At number 8, arguably my favorite origin story of all time, Batman Begins. Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy is one of the greatest trilogies of all time, and it starts with Batman Begins, and this movie does a great job of setting the tone for who Batman is. Everything in the Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises that he's learned, all is taught and learned in Batman Begins, and that's what's so awesome about this movie. He learns how to disappear, he learns how to blend in, he learns how to fight like an absolute badass, all in this movie. You have a great villain with Ra's al Ghul, an okay villain in Scarecrow. Never been the biggest Scarecrow fan, but Christian Bale is a fantastic Batman, arguably the best Batman, and Christopher Nolan's movie and Batman Begins is one of the best origin stories of all time for him to become the Dark Knight leading into the Dark Knight trilogy. Next up, Birds of Prey and the Fabulous Emancipation of one Harley Quinn. It was like Guy Ritchie, Martin Scorsese, and Quentin Tarantino all came together and made this movie. It is dark but incredibly funny with one of my favorite DC villains in Black Mask. Ewan McGregor as Roman Sionis is one of the best things we've seen in the recent DCEU years. But Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn obviously is a standout, but she was born to play this role, and I hope we get a Birds of Prey 2. Just keep it at the title, Birds of Prey, because the other one's a mouthful, but this movie is dark while being very funny and very fun and lighthearted, while also being very dark and kind of scary at the same time. It's mixing its themes and genres so well, and Harley Quinn is narrating throughout the film, but you can't really take anything she's saying seriously because she's the most unreliable narrator ever, and they use that to their advantage in this film for the way they edit it, and it's one of the best edited DC movies of recent years. At number 6, this might be cheating a little bit, but it's Zack Snyder's Justice League, the Snyder Cup, the movie we should have gotten all those years ago, and this is an epic, awesome movie I wish we got to see on the big screen. It came on HBO Max last year, and it's everything and more you wanted from the original Justice League. It sets up everything so well for the future of the DCEU, and this probably should be higher on my list, but it just sets up so many things that we unfortunately aren't going to get, especially that nightmare scene at the end with Ben Affleck and the Joker. That's some of the best Batman content we've gotten till recently, the Batman, but that with the Batfleck and setting that nightmare theme up, that would have been such a great movie or great spin-off show to go to HBO Max, and unfortunately we're not going to get it. But this movie is awesome. It's everything and more you wanted from the original Justice League, just drawn out in this 4-hour-long epic that's absolutely amazing. At number 5 is Joker. I've only seen this movie one time because of how dark and kind of haunting and chilling it is, and honestly this movie made me feel a certain way that lots of films don't, and that was uncomfortable. When I was watching this movie, I was kind of uneasy. I was kind of on edge. And the hype and like kind of publicity surrounding this film was that going in. You went in kind of looking over your shoulder, a little bit nervous. This was one of those theater experiences where I was kind of nervous going in. I was even more nervous coming out. Joaquin Phoenix is one of the best actors working today, and it is full display right here as Arthur Fleck and as a Joker. This is a super villain origin story with him leading into to become the Joker, and it's setting up for a Joker 2, and lots of people aren't excited for it. I really hope we get it, because that would be awesome. At number 4, the best DCEU movie, The Suicide Squad. James Gunn is a fantastic addition to the DC universe. Suicide Squad is James Gunn at his best version of James Gunn. It's quirky, has lots of those weird kind of inappropriate jokes, and it has some of the best visuals inside the DC universe with some of the most epic and complex characters we have ever gotten. And James Gunn gets to work all of his quirks, has total creative freedom over this movie. It sets up for badass action scenes, amazing fight scenes, a very overall entertaining and fun-ass movie. That's exactly what this is. It's James Gunn being James Gunn, and you love him for it. At number 3, The Dark Knight Rises. Tom Hardy's Bane is a villain that I absolutely love, and he's one of my favorite villains of all time. And he works so well in this because he's not like the Joker. He's not like the villains we've seen before in previous Batman movies. He's not really pulling the strings with like mentally and emotionally. He's pulling them physically. He's there to beat you up, take your lunch money, and send you home crying. That's exactly what he does in this movie. Tom Hardy perfects this role as Bane. And this is the first time we've truly seen Batman face this much animosity in a film. Bane literally takes out the Batman, sends him away, and the Batman has to go and find out what made him who he was in the first place. You have Anne Hathaway in there as Selina Kyle, a very good Selina Kyle, Tom Hardy as Bane, and Christian Bale in his last performance as the Dark Knight. And you also have Joseph Gordon-Levitt in there, who we find out to be Robin. I wish we got a 4th movie in this. It would have kind of ruined the trilogy vibe. But if we got like a quadrilogy with a Batman and Robin, come on. My runner-up, The Dark Knight. I just want to say this is the gold standard for DC. It is absolutely perfect. A lot of that is thanks to Heath Ledger's Joker. He isn't on screen all that much, but his presence is felt every minute he is on screen. He captivates you. He sucks you in. And he's one of the best villains because he wants to be caught, and he does not care who he has to hurt to get exactly what he wants. He has the mobs and gangs of Gotham under his thumb, and he's going to take down the Batman, not physically, not mentally, but emotionally. It's going to hit you in the heart where it hurts the worst. And then you get Two-Face in there, the best version of Two-Face we've seen, because we don't want to talk about Tommy Lee Jones Two-Face. But this is the best version of Harvey Dent and Two-Face we've seen. I love Jim Gordon in this movie. I love the Batman in this movie. I love the writing in this movie. And I love that they can take out one of the main characters and not feel bad about it. And it really shows the stakes of this movie and the stakes of what the Joker's doing by taking out one of our main characters inside the film. The Dark Knight is perfect. It is the gold standard. But there is now a diamond standard when it comes to DC, people. It is Matt Reeves' The Batman. I have only seen this movie one time. I'm planning on seeing it again before the weekend is up. I absolutely loved everything and more Matt Reeves did with this movie. From the editing, to the shot selection, to the cinematography, to the costume design, to the production design, to the performances, to the overall scope of this movie, everything and more captivates you in. It's not all just Batman kicking ass and fighting crime, like there is some of that in this movie, but it is about the Batman solving crime. That's exactly what it is. It's a detective story because Batman is the world's greatest detective, as I've said many times, and that is on full display in this movie. And Matt Reeves made the exact movie that he wants with some of the best shots I've ever seen in my life. And I can safe to say this is one of the best made movies I've ever seen in my entire life. It's epic, it's badass, it's haunting, and honestly at times, it is terrifying, with a great performance from Robert Pattinson, a great performance from Zoe Kravitz, a great performance from Jeffrey Wright, and an unbelievable scary performance from Paul Dano as the Riddler. The Batman lived up to my hype and everything I could have ever thought of. It's probably going to be my favorite movie of the year. I absolutely love it. It is my favorite DC movie of all time. Let me know your DC ranking down below in the comment section. Hit that thumbs up button for me and subscribe button for me. Where does the Batman fall on your list? Does it make it at all? And what did you think of the Batman? Let me know about all that down below. Batman villains ranking, Batman actors rank, all that coming later this weekend. Lots to do, such a little time. And just remember, I'm vengeance.